Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's cybersecurity session. Today, we're going to be talking about two types of kind of common scams. Those are social media scams and tech support scams. So we have a bit of a double feature today. Cybersecurity education at Cyber Seniors is supported by Aura. We are working together with Aura. Aura is an online safety platform for families. Their goal is to reduce the disproportionate impact of digital crime, scams, and financial fraud, targeting older adults through education. So every single resource that we provide to you is through a lot of the resources that they provide to us, and they support all of this work that we do in the cybersecurity arena. So we do really appreciate their continued support. You can always visit our cybersecurity center. That's again sponsored by them at cyberseniors.org/aura-cybersecurity. There you'll find all of the recordings of our previous cybersecurity sessions, as well as other resources, including blogs on all the topics we've covered thus far. So it is a great source for tons of resources. You can also access discounted Aura plans by visiting aura.com/cyberseniors. So that said, let's jump in. So avoiding social media and tech support scams. So what are we going to be talking about today? First of all, we're going to be talking about what are social media and tech support scams. I'm going to be splitting this up into two parts. We're going to talk about social media first, and then we'll talk about some tech support scams second. So we're going to talk about what these scammers are after, what the signs of the scams are, and again, how you can protect yourself against these scams. Now, when we're talking about these two types of scams, it's really important to be knowledgeable about them, what the risks are and what the threats are, because they're just super common and they affect everyone. Most people are on some form of social media, and tech support scams impact anyone who has any sort of device. So that's all of you, right? So no one is immune to being approached by these types of scams, and they really are ramping up. So it's really important that we know exactly how to spot them, how to protect ourselves. So, as I said, starting off with social media scams. So just to give you an idea of the landscape of social media, how many people are using it, Facebook has 2.989 billion monthly active users. Instagram is close behind with 2.35 billion monthly active users. TikTok has 1 billion monthly active users, and X, formerly Twitter, has 330 monthly active users. So this is a huge pool for scammers to be able to pick from, right? There are so many people with so much information stored on their social media accounts that it really makes social media a perfect arena, basically, for scammers to perpetrate their scams. So that is why these scams are so common. Scams are the most common on Facebook. Makes sense. There's the most amount of users on Facebook of pretty much any social media site. And apparently over 62% of Facebook users encounter scams on a weekly basis. This is the highest of any social media platform. So really a lot of people are being faced with these scams all the time. This is kind of taking the place of email phishing scams, right? I get email phishing scams every week. Most people do. And so we know how common that is. And it is increasingly common also on social media. So a lot of that has moved over and began to play out on social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Though I will say that it is predominantly sites like Facebook because of the sheer access that they might give potential scammers, as you know, it's a more filled out social media profile and presence. So, types of social media scams. We'll get into it. So the number one most common type of social media scam that's been happening over the past couple of years are investment/crypto scams. So in these scams, scammers reach out to victims directly, perhaps casually. They begin to build a relationship, perhaps a friendship, And then as they start to build out that friendship or relationship, they might eventually introduce them to a great investment opportunity, whether it's through crypto or something else, but it's really a fake scheme just to get you to give them money. These are often tied to romance scams. So as I said, building out a relationship, and oftentimes that relationship is one that is built on the premise of romance. So they'll use that relationship to then commit this investment / crypto scam. These scams accounted for approximately 37% of all social media scams last year, the majority being these crypto scams. So getting users to invest in cryptocurrencies, either through fake mediums, and then just taking money directly that way. The kind of second most common scam that we might see is romance scams. So in these scams, right, scammers will create fake profiles. They'll use stolen photos and attempt to initiate a romantic relationship with their victims. They'll often use a tactic called love bombing, where they basically build a relationship up really, really quickly, really fast, proclaiming love, really getting the other person invested in the relationship, but they'll do things like they'll never meet up, and then eventually they'll start asking for favors. So they'll really push in really, really quickly, get the person super invested, and then they might do things like, ask for money so that they can come visit because they don't have money, but they never come, or claim that they have some sort of family emergency that they need help with. Their kid has some sort of illness and they need help paying for their treatments, anything like that. But the key tell sign of this is that love bombing, that moving in really quickly and proclaiming love really quickly and just showering their victims with compliments, with affirmations, and with love in order to blind them to then what comes after, which is the actual scam. Now, these scams are obviously traditionally common to dating apps. However, they have, again, proliferated on social media over the years and have become one of the most common scams. So we do see these on other platforms. These aren't unique to social media sites, but they are one that is very common to social media sites, especially as more people are online and more people are meeting people on these social networking sites. Another type of scam we might see are account takeover fraud. So in this type of scam, social media accounts are hacked, often through phishing, and scammers use your account or the account that was scammed to perpetrate more scams and steal information. So pretty easy for them to get these accounts too. They're not the people who are taking over the accounts and using them are not always the people who hacked them in the first place. Much of the time, they're people who bought these login informations off the dark web. As you can see, they can buy a hacked Facebook account or Instagram account or Twitter account for as little as $25, and then they can use that to commit their frauds. So often this is kind of a multi-step process. Your account information might have been stolen a few weeks ago, and then it was just bought by a scammer who then uses it. So it's not always the same person who steals it as is the person who then takes it over and uses it for their gain. Now, scammers in this case might use your account to post fake investment opportunities, to share links to phishing sites and fake stores, to gather personal details about you and your friends and family, or use it to gain access to other accounts with logins through Facebook. So they basically just take over your account. They may keep it as is, they may change it, and then they use it to target people in your network by posing as a trusted person in their network, which is you. And again, if you use Facebook to log into any other accounts, so if you've ever seen this, when you go to sign up for a new account on Zoom or on a shopping website, and it gives you the opportunity to just sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook, that's how they can then use that Facebook account to log into those other accounts. So if you've connected your other accounts, either shopping accounts or anything like that, to your Facebook account, that puts you at risk of whoever's hacked your Facebook account then gaining access to those other accounts. So it's something we do not recommend doing when signing up for new accounts. Each new account you set up should be a unique account, not set up in connection with to another online account you have, because then if one account is compromised, the other will be. The exception there being obviously email. You often have to use your email to sign up for accounts. Another type of scam we see a lot are authentication codes scams. So as we begin to see things like two-factor authentication being provided and used more widely on online accounts, which is a great way to keep your account safe when you use two-factor authentication, scammers have obviously found a way to use that to scam you. So what they do is they will basically send you a fake authentication code or warn of a suspicious login attempt in order to get you to give in their login information. In the case we're seeing here on the left, they may also attempt to log into your account, try to reset the password, and then the actual Facebook will send you the authentication, and they'll say, hey, we sent you another one. Please an authentication code in the other email, please send it to us so we can confirm your account. So they just grab the authentication code from you and log into your account as is. In other cases, they might send you a fake link that says, there's been suspicious behavior, please log in to confirm that this was you. So it's some sort of authentication of your account. You log in, it's a fake login, you give them your login information, and then they take over. So this is really, really common. It happens across a lot of different online accounts, but social media is one where it happens a lot. I know I get a lot of these from Facebook or people posing to be Facebook with my logins. There's also just fake ads in online stores, right? Social media ads are not always safe and they're very common. We have lots of social media ads. It's how these websites make money. They are, however, not always checking the legitimacy or the authenticity of the sites that they are accepting ads from. So scammers may buy ad space and use them to direct users to either fake stores or else misleading ads. So in this case, they're not necessarily, stealing your bank account information and all your money. They may be just selling you a faulty product or a bad product. But in some cases, that may be the case. They may be using this as basically a cover to steal your financial information. So you'll click off the website, you'll go onto a shopping website. It's now beyond the realm of responsibility of Facebook or wherever, Instagram, and then you are shopping on this website that's actually harmful. So we talked about last week online shopping scams. So when we are in the case where we do click off social media site to go to a shopping site, this is not always a scam. Many of these ads are legitimate sites, but always putting that toolkit from last week when we talked about online shopping scams to use, looking out for those telltale signs of a fake website, an unsecure website, checking for things like security protocols, which are that HTTPS and that little lock icon next to the URL, making sure that the website, if it says it's Amazon.com or .ca, that the URL actually reads that and it's not some derivative of that that's just posing as that website. So making sure that when we're clicking off, not assuming that where we're going is safe just because it is a sponsored ad from Facebook, but that there still might be risk there. We also have impersonator accounts. So many scammers will create impersonation accounts using someone else's name, someone else's photos, and they may use these accounts to request money, to send phishing links, or post about fake giveaways. A lot of scammers have also started impersonating celebrities. Maybe they're sending a post to donate to some cause that they support, anything like that. So these ones may not necessarily be people you know. It's not like the takeover scams where they take over your friend's account. These are just random people that add you or pretend to be other people. And again, those telltale signs of them just asking stuff from you, or also that the account is relatively new, doesn't have a lot of followers or a lot of engagement is a sign. So, if you do see one that's impersonating a celebrity, but the account only has, a couple thousand follows, that might not line up with the actual level of how famous that person is. That's probably a fake account. Or that all of the photos seem to be just editorial photos. There's no personal photos. Obviously, sometimes it's the case where celebrity accounts only post like those editorial type photos. But if they have like nothing that seems candid or personal, that may be a telltale sign that this is just a fake account where someone's pulled in pictures off of Google, right? And all of that. And again, that low engagement look, are people commenting, liking the posts, anything like that. Another common one is the "is this you" link scam. Again, something I've gotten a lot of times. So basically you'll receive a link from a friend, so a Facebook friend or something, or a stranger in your DMs that says something like, "is this a photo of you?" And just so little context. So it's kind of frightening. They may even include "is this a photo of you? Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Like they might include something that makes you go, "Oh, what is this photo of me?" And so you want to click on it because you're worried. But in fact, these links lead to fake social media login pages, and they might be designed to steal your password. So when you get this type of thing, maybe over text or over a DM or over an email, linking to a social media site, you want to avoid clicking on it. If ever you're unsure, you can hover over the link to ensure that it is correctly leading you to actual facebook.com or wherever else they may be saying this photo is posted. And then also, if you do end up accidentally clicking on it, you do, always making sure that the site you're on is the valid site, that it is secure, that it has that that lock icon, that you have that secure connection. So just double checking those links that you're clicking on, that they're not sending you to, Facebook, the Facebook site dot, UK or whatever, something random that doesn't make sense. It's not the same as the original website. Another thing that's really common are social media quizzes. Scammers will use fake online quizzes to gather personal information on users and then use that information to break into their online accounts. So you might see a personality quiz that's posted, like this one, which Dr. Seuss character are you? You click on it, seems fun, but it's asking pretty personal questions about you. Maybe these questions are phrased similarly to questions that might be asked as additional security questions on your bank account. What's your favorite, like all those little things you see. So they're just using this to collect these personal details on you. They can then use that to hack into your accounts to guess passwords or to solve your security answers on accounts that have that added protocol. So watching out for these, making sure they're legitimate. I would just avoid them generally, to be honest, because even though we see this in a number of different ways, even if it's not them stealing this information to break into your accounts, oftentimes a lot of these quizzes are used to collect some sort of demographic information or something else that they want out of you. So it's just basically data farming, a lot of these quizzes. So though they may be kind of fun, I often think that they're not worth the risk because you don't know who's running them, and you don't know what the purpose of them collecting this information is. And then we have lottery and sweepstakes scams. So in these type of scams, you'll get some sort of direct message, say that you've won a prize. However, they'll say that you have to pay first to get it. You have to pay for its delivery, right? So just direct, too good to be true. Here's your prize. And then, you need to provide something yourself in order to retrieve the prize. And then lastly, something that some scams that do happen on sites, especially like Facebook, are job scams. There are a lot of Facebook groups out there that people use to find work. It's often a lot of gig jobs. So this one, for example, is one from trucking jobs. I know that these exist, for film jobs as well. They might exist for, caretaking jobs, caregiver jobs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of these groups out there, and though the admins of these groups do their best to try to source out things that might not seem legitimate, these fake job ads still will come in. So what will happen is that they may post a job opportunity with the goal of getting money from you. So maybe they post a job, but in order to do the job, you have to buy equipment from them to do the job. or in order to accept the job, they need, details, how they're going to pay you. They need your social security number, your social insurance number, and the job never comes through and you've just given away that information. So looking out again for just asking of too much personal information, not enough details on their part, and just trying to get you to move quickly. So as we went through, we talked a bit about like how these scams play out and kind of as they're happening, how we might identify them. But just some additional tips on how to identify these scams. So as always, with most scams, communications might include spelling or grammar errors or just maybe really predictable language. You have to remember that we often say spelling and grammar errors because a lot of the time these scams aren't coming out of, say, like the US or Canada. They may be coming from elsewhere where English is not the first language. So that's one sign. But even if they are, even if English is the person's first language, they're just doing this so often. They're just sending so many messages to so many people. Oftentimes, they're not just scamming you; they're probably scamming hundreds of other people. So they're not really taking the time to check things. They might not be very thoughtful, and they may have certain phrases or things that they say often and reuse. So they may seem like almost like predetermined bits of text that they're just kind of pulling in because they're just using the same language over and over again. Another thing is it might be a brand new social media account. So if the account doesn't have posts older than, honestly, like a year, I'd say, like that might be suspicious. People, especially if they're, of anyone like my age or older, like to just have gotten onto these sites recently wouldn't really make sense. So they're a brand new social media account. They don't have a lot of engagement. They don't have a lot of posts. It doesn't go back very far. And the thing is, like, they don't have a lot of connections. They don't have a lot of friends on Facebook, or they follow a lot of people on Instagram, but they themselves don't have a lot of followers. Or even if they do have a lot of followers, their proportion of the amount of accounts that they follow is significantly higher than follows them. That's like one thing you can see. If they follow 10,000 people, they have 1,000 followers, that might be a sign that they've just tried to collect as many followers by following others to try to legitimize their account. The profile might belong to someone you are already friends with. So someone adds you, and you're not sure why, because you thought that you were already friends with this person on Facebook, or that this person already followed you on Instagram. This may be the case where someone's duplicated someone else's account and followed you, hoping you wouldn't notice that it was a duplicate, not the original. You receive just a random DM with a link in it. So immediately they're sending you somewhere. Even if they do provide a lot of context or a huge message, that they just immediately put a link. They don't ask if it's okay. They just push it at you in the hopes that you're going to open it, or they just send a bare link, hoping that you'll be curious and click on it and open it. You're asked to send money. So anytime someone tries to solicit money off of you on social media, where there's no way to perform some sort of secure payment method, that is a red flag and something we want to avoid. There's ads or promotions that seem too good to be true. So again, this can happen with Facebook ads or Instagram ads. We all get them. Doesn't mean just because they've paid Instagram or Facebook to post these ads doesn't mean that their product or their site is legitimate. These things aren't always checked properly. So we have to do our own due diligence in checking that the promotions we're seeing on these sites are real, and that the sites that we're visiting are safe. Again, and then you get sent to an online store that shows signs of being fake. So again, returning to what we talked about last week in online shopping, and using those tools to know if the site is fake. No security protocols, that there's not that lock icon or that HTTPS. Maybe it's not a very well designed website. It's not very intuitive, and it doesn't have secure payment methods on it. And then the other user that you're engaging with perhaps insists on taking the conversation off of social media. Maybe they ask to text you so that they can remove it from anything that's attached to them. and they can move it to a place that's more secure for them and less secure for you. So tips for staying safe in these cases: never click on pop-up messages or links in DMs. Even if it's from someone who looks like your friend or who you think is someone you already have on Facebook or Instagram, just take the time to double check it just to be safe. Don't give out personal information on social media, period. If you need to give personal information to a friend or a family member, use more secure methods to do so. You can call them, give it to them in person. Adjust your social media privacy settings. Now, this is something that we have covered in the past as well. So on any social media account, you have privacy settings available to you. You'll have to go into your account, into the settings, and there should be a section called privacy, or something of the like. I can show this later if anyone is not sure how to access these. But going in, making sure that your account is as private as possible. This includes turning off, people's ability the general public's ability to see things you've commented on, people you're friends with, photos you've posted, making sure those things remain as private as possible, because again, that sort of information out there can make you more vulnerable to them, as they can build up information on you in order to hack other accounts or else to engage you in something like a romance scam, right? If they already know a bit about you, it's going to make it easier for them. They can also use any sort of information that you post publicly online to impersonate you or use that information to scam people in your network, your friends and family. So it's a matter of safety for yourself as well as a matter of safety for everyone you're connected with online. Just don't respond to strangers messaging you on social media. If you don't know them, you don't need to respond. But obviously leave this up to your discretion. But I would just say, if you don't know the person, do not engage in a conversation. Always create and use strong and unique passwords for your accounts. Don't use the same password across social media platforms, again, because access to one might mean access to multiple. Activate two-factor authentication for all of your accounts where possible. This is possible on all of the major social media accounts, and this should be turned on. If you suspect a friend or a company has been hacked, contact them directly through trusted channels, like calling them or texting them to let them know you suspect this, because again, this is a matter of risk potentially for you, but also for them and for people in their network. So have each other's back when you're on social media about things you see that are suspicious. If you've been contacted by a duplicate account of a friend, let them know so that they can put the word out to the rest of their network to let them know and to keep them safe. And just never send money to someone you've only met on social media. Just don't do it. Even if it's someone you think is asking for money, don't do it over social media. Find more direct ways to communicate with them. Talk to them if they need help, right? If a friend reaches out and says, I'm in a bad situation and I need some financial help right now, make sure you take that conversation offline. Meet them in person. Call them on the number that they have for them, just to be sure, because you never know. It could be someone posing as that person. All right. So that's social media scams in a nutshell. Let's now talk about tech support scams. So what are tech support scams? Tech support scams are scams in which fraudsters will pose as tech support from trusted companies in order to gain access to your device. Again, you may have seen these because I've seen them a ton. They're out there. They're very common. So I first want to start by taking you through watching a bit of a video, and then I'm going to take you through some of the common steps on how these scams play out, so you can kind of see what the methodology of committing one of these scams is. But first, we have a quick video.
Scammers are stepping up their game. Instead of taking a few $100s, they're cleaning out bank accounts, savings, investments, even retirement funds. These victims were on their computers when a message appeared. Their device is infected with a virus. They must call tech support immediately. When they do, they're told the situation is serious and urgent.
The representative on the other end of the line will convince them that there is a problem with their computer and that, in fact, their financial accounts may have been compromised.
They're told to download software that gives the scammer access to their computer, then log into their accounts.
We'll kind of try and suss out, how many accounts do you have? How much is in that account? So they have a feeling for how much to shoot for.
They're given different reasons as to why they need to transfer or withdraw their money. In some cases, it's to secure their account. Other scammers make it seem like they overpaid the victim and now they need to reimburse the scammer. Or they're told they're involved in illegal activity and need to run their money through an FBI agent to clear their name.
It's not unusual to see a victim walking into a gas station with $5,000 and feeding $100 bills into this Bitcoin ATM.
And the reported losses are way up, more than 32,000 reports in 2022, totaling $806 million, including victims in Maryland, a Churchton woman losing $40,000, another in Silver Spring out $180,000, including a significant portion of her retirement.
I've seen 600, 800, over $1 million in loss, because once the victim gets it in their mind that everything they've worked for their whole life is potentially gone if they don't act immediately, they'll act immediately and they'll send everything that they have.
Supervisory Special Agent Keith Custer sees these crimes originate in South Asia and India, making recovery more complicated. And while tech support scams are the #1 fraud affecting seniors, he warns it can happen to anyone.
That's a common misnomer with a lot of people, is that victims are all suffering from dementia, or they're not with it. But I'm here to tell you that a lot of the victims are sharper, older people with professional degrees, lawyers, doctors, engineers. No one is immune to this.
You might come across these pop-up ads if you click the wrong link in an email or ad, and it'll lock your computer. If this happens to you, visit a tech professional in person. Microsoft doesn't include phone numbers in error or warning messages, so don't call. And if you did send money, call your bank right away, ask them to reverse any transactions, and always file a report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center.
All right, so I just wanted to show, it's always helpful to see how these play out with real people and how they're happening. But I do want to take you through, especially the kind of common one, which is this kind of device takeover scam. Tech support scams can happen in a few different more subtle ways or other ways, but the major one is the one where they claim to be some sort of tech support agent, you need help, and then they ask you to download some sort of software where they can view and control your screen so they can help you. So we'll walk through the steps of how that kind of tends to go down. So how do these happen? So step one, scammers will reach out to you either via email or text message, phone call, or maybe there'll be a fake website. So you'll accidentally click on a link and you'll go to an unsecure website and you'll get a pop-up that says, your computer has been infected. You might get this if you tried to search for a movie and you go to accidentally go to a fake torrent website where it's like a free screening of the movie. It's where I've seen them the most, stuff like that, right? So you may have accidentally just been led there. It's not it's a pop-up usually in your browser. So you get one of these things, some sort of message, unprompted message that there's something wrong. And again, this is coming from generally a trusted website, trusted company. Best Buy Geek Squad is a common one, though it may be other ones. So basically, once you get this pop-up, once they've made contact with you, they'll claim that your device has been compromised, or maybe that you even owe money for their services, and that you need to confirm your identity by providing information like a credit card or a social security or a social insurance number. So they'll, find some reason that they need something from you. And in step 3, again, depending on the type of scam, so if it's one where they need payment for services for your subscription, or they're collecting information to confirm your account, that might be where the scam ends, right? They ask for your money, you get the payment to them for the services that they're owed, and then they take it, and then there might be that overpayment scam where you pay them or they reimburse you for something, and then you have to pay back, and then you lose that money. So all of those sorts of things might happen, and that might be where it ends. But on the ones where they say that your device is infected, it's immediate attention, this is where they might get you to download something that they're claiming will help you. So perhaps this is a fake antivirus software, but you're actually downloading malware. Or perhaps this is an application that gives them remote access to your device. Now, with these applications that give them remote access to your device, they're not necessarily using super sketchy, harmful software. They're using software that is very common, that a lot of people use and engage with to actually provide like some sort of tech support. TeamViewer is one of the most common ones that they use for this. And I have used TeamViewer to help someone with their computer, right? So they're not using, sketchy software that you'd go, oh, this seems like a weird application, I'm not going to download it. They may be using something that seems quite legitimate, because it is, just their use of it is illegitimate. So maybe they get you to download this software. Once they're on your device, they can continue to scam you for money, right? By either emptying your bank accounts, finding sensitive information on your device, maybe holding it ransom, or demanding more payments for their service. So once they are in your account on your device, they can get access to all of that. And this is where they can really cause harm and drain a lot from you. Now, these ones are really scary because they kind of give this all access, right? With something like, other phishing scams or payment scams, you may give a portion of money, and then they'll try to get more out of you, but maybe it was just one lump sum. With these, because they have the capacity to get so much access to so much of your information and so many of your accounts, they can just take it all. So it's very, very a frightening type of scam. So some of these other common tech support scams, which kind of talked about, that might go along with this, that might be the secondary path of what they do, are things like auto renewal scams, fake antivirus scams, misleading browser pop-ups, or bogus protection plans. Auto renewal scam. So in this scam, basically what fraudsters will do is they'll send you an email or a text message, and they'll claim that you've been signed up for some sort of a subscription service. Again, Geek Squad being a common one here, and that you are going to be billed hundreds of thousands of dollars unless you cancel that plan. The message also usually includes like a phone number to call in case the charge is a mistake. And once you get on the phone, they'll ask for your credit card or other banking information in order to refund you. But in reality, they just use that information to steal or commit financial fraud. So they'll claim that you have this account, that it's auto renewing. Hey, you have to cancel it. Can you confirm the credit card you used to pay for this? You give them the credit card information, then they use it to steal your money. So in many cases, this scam will evolve, like I said, into that refund scam. So it starts out as this auto renewal. Your account has just been auto renewed. It's a lot of money. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't pay for this. If this is a mistake, call us. We'll get it sorted. We'll get you your refund. And then they do that as well. So some signs of this are if you receive unsolicited phone calls claiming to be, again, Geek Squad or another tech support group, right? These companies almost never contact you directly like this. And they'll never ask for a lot of this information that they may ask for. So once you're on the phone, the scammer, they won't let you off, because they know if you hang up, the scam is over. So they'll just do anything to keep you on the line, right? They'll threaten that you will owe more money, or just threaten to say that, like, if I don't get this sorted out, I'm going to be in really big trouble, because this is like a lot of money that you owe us, sort of thing. So they'll do anything to keep you on the phone, and again, causing that kind of sort of urgency to the situation. There's also these fake antivirus scams. So in these scams, a fraudster will pose as a fake, again, technician and tell you that your device has been infected with malware. So if you respond to the email or call the number that's in the message, they'll maybe pressure you into downloading antivirus software, or again, give you that access to your device, that remote access. But with the antivirus one, they'll pressure you to download this antivirus software. And in this case, the hackers will then be able to use that software to gain full access to your device, your sensitive information, your photos, and your videos. And this antivirus software you install will have malware hidden inside it that allows for that spying on your computer, or allows them to have that remote access. So though they may not be saying, hey, I'm here to help you, let's get this remote access app set up so I can take a look and see what's going on, they may present it as an antivirus software that's going to help future attacks, and yet it is not that. It's malware, and it might also be a remote access program that allows them to control your device. There's also fake browser pop-ups, right? These tend to come up a lot. So in situations like this, scammers will use pop-ups on sketchy websites. As I said, like a lot of this is like illegitimate streaming platforms. If you ever like try to look, if you can watch a movie and you Google it and they say like, watch this movie free, and then you click on, those are the types of sites that they're really common to. And these pop-ups will claim that your device is infected. And they'll take over your screen, and they might be really bright and really frightening, and that the virus that you have requires immediate access. This is just a normal pop-up that you see on a website, right? A lot of websites use pop-ups to try to get your attention. But these are just ones that look scary, but they're really nothing more than a normal pop-up. So if you click on the pop-up, though, you'll maybe automatically download what looks like an antivirus or device cleaner software. And again, this is just malware, which tracks your passwords, which can spy on you, and all of that. So just so you know, with these, no browser plugin can scan your device for viruses. So if you get a message claiming that your device has been infected, it is a scam. And you also want to be aware of these device cleaner apps. Again, this is another way that they pose it. So they may say, remote access app, antivirus app. A device cleaner app is another sort of way they might phrase it. And again, this is just an app that has a lot of malware on it. So again, if you're unsure about an app or a piece of software, Google the name plus scam or plus safe, and you should be able to see stories on that. Again, you're not going to be the only victim of this scam. This is going to be one where they've already attacked lots of people. And so there probably will be information out there on it. And if there's zero information on it, good or bad, that's also a bad sign. And then bogus protection plans. So again, while not as dangerous as maybe the remote access ones or the ones that get you to download antivirus software, there are cases in which fake companies sell basically worthless protection plans that can still wreak havoc. So in the scheme, scammers are again posing as technicians. They can contact you via the phone or email to sell you some sort of protection service, such as antivirus. But these tools either do have malware or they just do nothing. And so they just get you to buy the software that's pretty much useless. And so they've just taken money directly from you. And so you want to be really careful when you are purchasing or downloading antivirus to know that the one you're downloading and using is legitimate, that it has good reviews, that you double check online, Google it to see what other users or other previous purchasers of this software are using in order to check if it's something you want to pay for. So again, the tool might have no online reviews, or maybe it's not listed on top reviewed sites like security.org. And maybe scammers will contact you and try to sell you these digital security services. So an unsolicited email or call is a huge red flag that you're dealing with a scammer. So direct sort of sales to you as an individual via call or an email is something to watch out for here. So how do we protect ourselves from tech support scams? Again, don't respond to unsolicited messages or phone calls across the board. Install legit antivirus software on your computer. Again, do your research, make sure what you're installing actually works, that people have reviewed it well, and that you're not getting something fake. Never click on links in suspicious emails. and always check the URL path. You can do that by hovering over it, and you should be able to see where it leads, right? Because people can hide what the actual link is leading to. They can make it say www.geeksquad.com or whatever their URL is. But when you hover over it, it's actually leading to some sort of other bogus website. Do not supply passwords, two-factor authentication codes, or any sensitive information to anyone calling you, claiming to be a technician from any site. Again, they will not ask for that information over the phone. That information is used for you to be able to log in on their online forms. They do not need that information over the phone. If there's some way that they need to confirm your identity, they're probably going to be doing it through other means. But definitely not by you supplying them your password, two-factor authentication code, or sensitive information directly. Learn to recognize the signs of a phishing email generally. We go over this, I think, every month, but poor grammar, urgency, maybe it's too good to be true, or else the email domain doesn't match where they're saying they're from. Maybe the branding they're using, if they're saying from Geek Squad, is slightly off, it doesn't quite match. The colors are slightly off, or the image in their signature is pixelated because it was pulled and it wasn't the actual full resolution logo that they use, stuff like that. Always double check phone numbers. If you receive a call, make sure you're only using the numbers listed and confirmed on the actual company's website. So if you get a call and saying it's from Best Buy, just go double check. Never be afraid to hang up and call back, because if you say, hey, I just want to hang up and call back, they should say no problem. And if they say no, you can't do that, you just stay on the phone or else I might lose you, that's a red flag, right? Because they know that once you call back, you'll be calling a legitimate number and they will not be able to access you anymore. And you can always consider signing up for credit monitoring, right? Aura can scan your bank accounts and other financial accounts for signs of fraud, such as those overpayment or accidental refund scams. So using the tools at your disposal, using this knowledge as a way to prepare yourself, protect yourself, but also considering other protections that can add that added layer of security. So bottom line, the first step to protecting yourself from social media and tech support scams is to be knowledgeable about what scams exist, and having an added protection from trusted companies like Aura can provide that added safety. So taking the steps you need to take, continuing to engage in education on general cybersecurity and on these scams that exist, because again, new ones are cropping up all the time. So knowing the latest ones, the latest tactics they're using, and then where there's gaps in that, having some sort of added protection if you need it, to be able to make sure that you are perfectly safe. So if you do have any more questions about this topic, you can always call us toll free at Cyber Seniors at 844-217-3057, or you can visit us online at cyberseniors.org. You can also visit our cybersecurity center at cyberseniors.org/aura-cybersecurity. And once again, you can access discount Aura plans by visiting aura.com/cyberseniors. And again, we thank Aura again for supporting all of the cybersecurity programming that we do here at Cyber Seniors and allowing us to provide it to you.